Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome back to Roblox Basics. In today's video, we are going to be making a quest. So we're going to be making this UI right here, and that's going to keep track of our quests. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we need is a couple of parts. Alright, make sure they're anchored. Okay. So the next thing we're gonna need is leader stats. We need a way to give the player money so they can spend it, maybe experience, whatever. And this is how we are going to do that. So in server script service, you're gonna say right click, insert object, script. All right, we're just going to create a basic leader stats script. Okay, so we're going to go local. Going to say data store service equals game dot get service get service. Okay, and then parentheses, and in the parentheses, we're going to say data store service. Data store service. Okay, and that's just a function, a Roblox function. Now, the next one we're going to say is local, L-O-C-A-L, and this is going to be my data store. All right, and this is going to be data store service get data store my data store. All right, and then it'll just save. This should just save to the server. Now what we want to do is we want to say game dot players player added. Remember, that's the function that we use when a player joins the game, is player added, right? We want to say connect function. We're connecting a function, so whenever the player joins the game, so we'll say local leader stats equals instance.new, and this is going to be folder. And what this will do is this will create a folder on the player every time they join, and it's going to be called leader stats. And this is how we're going to save and track what they earn in the game. So we'll say leader stats dot name equals, and you can name this anything you want. Leader stats could be whatever the folder is. Okay, so leader stats dot parent equals player. All right. Oh, we forgot to add in the function here. We'll add player in there as a variable, and that way it'll automatically be defined. Now we want to say local cash, which is what we're going to call it here. This could be anything. Cash could be money, moolah, whatever. We want to say instance dot new and then it's going to be an integer value. Okay, int value, and what that's going to do is that's going to create a value that we can change inside the folder. So what we're doing is we're building the folder right now. So we say cash dot name equals capital C A S H, right? Then we're going to say cash dot parent equals leader stats. All right. Then we're going to say local data, and then what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this into a p call, and that way if it doesn't load your data, it'll give you an error message, and if it does load your data, it should go through. Okay, so we'll say local success error message equals pcall, and we'll say function. All right. And then we're going to say data equals my data store get async and then we want the player dot user ID make sure you put 2 dots there. All right, and that's the end of the pcall function. All right. Then we want to say if success, then want to say cache dot value equals data, meaning it will store it if you have successfully done the transaction. And then we'll say else, and then we can just say, we can print here. Let's see. When I say there was an error with your data, just like that. And then we will warn, and that's going to be the error message. All right. Or make sure we spell all that properly. Okay. That'll do it for that. Now what we want to do is when the player leaves. So game dot players dot player removing, right? Connect function, and we want to say local success error message. So we're just basically making a function here for when they leave the game as well. Oops. So it's identical to what we just wrote there. All right, and we say local success error message pcall, right? My data store, and we're going to go set async instead of get async. We're going to set async, and what this will do is this will player dot user ID and we want to do so when the player leaves the game. Oh, and then we'll have to add probably player in here, just like we did there. Okay. And that way when the player leaves the game, it'll update this folder. So any of the money that you earn in the game, while you're progressing through the game, it'll save that value. So the next time you connect to the game, you should have all the money that you earned, hopefully. We'll say player dot leader stats dot cache dot value. All right, now in here, like I said, this is one cache. It's one part. You can create another folder, call it experience, and so on and so forth. And then that way you can have maybe up to 3 or 4 or 5 things that you want the player to, as they're progressing, you know, they get money to spend and buy items in your game. Then they get experience, which maybe unlocks different areas or skills. So it's just different ways to track player progress throughout the game. All right, then we're going to go if success, then I'm going to say print player data saved. Easy peasy, just like that. And then we want to say same thing like we did up there. Where are we here? We want to say else, right? Print there was an error. Or we could just say player data not saved. And then we can say also if there is a warning, which will be the error message. Okay. We can rename this to leader stats as well. Just like that. That is your basic leader stats script. Now, if we play the game in our new game here, oh, look at that. There's already an error. Line 1, the very first line. Right here, game.getService should be game:getService. Get data is not a valid member of data service. This error here is the UI. But this here, line 2. Get data stow. Ah, you see that? Get data stow. Store. Data store. Spelling is really important, right? Especially when you're writing code. Sometimes the fingers slip. So there we go. There we go. Now since it gives me this API services rejected, that's because I haven't published the game, right? If I publish the game, then it would connect to the Roblox servers and it would be able to save it. But now you can see we have a leaderboard. We've got my name and it shows I have 0 money. Okay? So now what we want to do is we want to create a way for me to get money in the game. And actually what we could do is yeah, see instance.new folder, name, leader stats. So this whole section here is a single folder, right? And so within that, we go cache equals instance.new. I'm pretty sure if we repeat this, let's try this out. I haven't actually tried this yet. Let's try this out in this video. Let's go. Let's copy that. Let's do that, and let's call this XP. Let's see what happens here. I might need a double P call on, let's see, I might need to double this. Let's see here. And then I might need to change this to XP. And we'll have to change this to XP. And we'll change all this, right? XP. XP. And then we should take this data store and we'll go copy that and we'll do this for XP. And then, but we'll say leader stats dot XP dot value because that's what we've named it. So now let's see if that works. Ah, look at that. Now I have cash and I have experience. Ah, hey, wonderful. So you can do that. You can add and add and add and add and add, you know, just different ways, like I say, for you to track players' progress through your game. All right, so now that we have the leader stats out of the way, now we're going to get into the very difficult part of making the quest. So we're going to be writing a few scripts here. So I'm just looking now for the this is the, let's see here. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to server script service. We are going to insert object. And we're going to make this a new script. And we are going to rename this as, we can just say quest. Easy peasy. All right, we'll get rid of this. Hello world. Now, just follow along and just write the code, and it will all make sense, hopefully, in the end here. Okay, so this script here is basically the handler for the quests. So what we want to do is in replicated storage, we want to insert an object, a remote event, and we are going to name this, for the purpose of this, we're just going to call it starter. So we are going to first we want to do local remote equals. Remote is just our variable for the remote function here. We're going to do game. We can say get service. Replicated storage. This is one way of doing it. Or you can go game.replicate storage .starter. Okay. Let's see. We'll go wait for child starter. Yeah, wait for child starter. See, and it found it. Perfect. Okay. So it's going to wait. It's going to wait for this. The script won't run until someone triggers the remote event. So the first thing we're going to do, the first part of this, we'll have a section for canceling the quest. All right. But before that, let's go title information. All right. So we'll go game dot players dot player added connect function, just like we do. Okay, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a folder on the player. So we're going to say local folder, folder equals instance.new. Okay, and then we want to do this, no, not function, instance.new. And in the parentheses, we want to say folder. And that way it's on the player. And then, of course, in the function here, we want to add player as our variable. So it's defined. Okay, and then we go folder dot name equals quest information. Quest information. Now, what I did, I made like A, B, C, and D different folders. In Blue Trucking City, there's seven different companies, and they all have about 5 or 6 quests. So rather than making this one huge file, I sort of broke it up because each one is going to be substantially large. But this one handler, you could write 100 quests into this one handler if that's what you want, and they'll all be tracked individually. All right, so quest information. So now what we need is, what we're doing is, I'll just show you this. Okay. So we have our task, we have our progress, and we have our reward, and then we have the current mission. These are the variables that we are creating right now in our script. So we can say local title equals instance.new, and then inside the quest information folder, these are the these are the values that we're putting in there, which will eventually translate into progress, reward, and task. All right. So we say this is going to be a string value. All right. And we want to say title dot name equals quest title. All right. And then we'll say title dot value equals default. All right, now we have a default value in here, and that way what it will do is once you finish the quest, it will reset the folder back to its default 000, and that way it doesn't get confused later on, you know, or you're able to complete other quests. All right, so now we're going to say local task equals instance.new instance.new, and we're going to say string value, and we're going to say folder. So we're repeating, basically we're repeating this. We'll say task dot name equals quest task. Okay, and then we'll go task dot value equals default default. Oh, and that's got to be wrapped in, oops, what's going on here, quotation marks. Now task, I'm hoping that's going to work. I see here it's red because that is also a this is how we've got it. We're going to hopefully it doesn't give us any errors. If it does, we'll just have to rename this task, and then here where it says task, maybe we'll rename it to like task A, for example. Okay, and then we can go A. Whoops. Yeah. See. So we have to put the A in there because otherwise it's trying to connect it to a different function, and that's what we don't want. All right. So local objective obj equals same thing instance.new. Okay, and then we go, this one is going to be an int value folder as well. We're going to say folder on all this because we're placing the string value, all these inside this folder, quest information. All right, and same thing, we need objective, we need a name for it, and that's going to be quest objective. Quest objective. All right, and then obj dot value equals 0. Okay, and then we need local progress. We need to track our progress. Instance dot new. Okay, and this is going to be also an int value. Okay, and then we need a name and a value. The name is going to be quest progress, so we'll say progress dot name equals quest objective. All right, and then progress dot value equals 0, and we'll say local reward equals same thing instance dot new. Okay, this is also going to be an int value inside the folder, and now we need a name. Reward dot name equals quest reward, and then reward dot value equals 0. All right. Now we're going to say local equals false. Rewarded equals false. Now up here, before the quest title information, we're going to have a section here where we put in the cancel quest. So if you close the quest down, it's going to reset it back to default. But we'll do that at the end here. So moving on, local rewarded equals false. All right, and now what we're going to do is we need to add the title. All right, so we're going to say title dot changed connect function. And we're going to say if title dot value is approximately equal to default, then what are we going to do? We're going to go progress dot changed connect function. We will say if progress, not pairs, if progress dot value is greater than or equal to obj dot value and rewarded rewarded equals false. Is equal to false. Then rewarded equals true. Now this rewarded here, I'm pretty sure this is going to be part of our cancel quest. We'll put that in just a moment here. Okay, rewarded equals true. And then we're going to say if title dot value is equal to, and then this is where we put in our quest name. All right, so we could say is equal to Bell. Okay, that'll be the name of our quest, Bell. That's going to be the name of our first quest. Then, okay, we say player, dot leader stats, dot cash, dot value equals player dot leader stats, dot leader stats dot cash dot value, okay, plus the reward dot value. All right. Then we need to duplicate this because we're also giving experience. So we go, what's it, XP? All right, and it's capital. Make sure it's spelled the same. Leader stats dot XP dot value plus reward dot value. So I haven't scripted the XP part, so that's kind of the new part in all of this. Okay, so it's pretty much that simple. Now we want to do the cancel quest part of this. All right, so the cancel quest is going to be after this end. It's going to be in between here. So we're going to say remote, fire client, player, cancel quest. Okay, cancel quest, probably without the space. Just like that. This cancel quest we're going to be making up here at the top, but we're just adding this Okay, and then we'll say weight. Put in a weight here, 0.5, and then we say rewarded equals false. All right. So just like that, it's a bit. If you're following along, it'll all make sense in the end here. So now we go back up to the top of our script, and we are going to add in the cancel quest part. So we are going to say remote, which is what we just did there, on server event. Okay, connect function. And here we're going to say local quest info equals player, wait for child, and we are going to say quest information, which is what we have here. Quest information. All right. And now we need, in here, we need our two variables, player, and we need our value, which is going to be this, cancel quest. All right. So if a value is equal to cancel quest, Q-U-E-S-T, then because now we need to go through the folder and we need to reset all these values back to default. So how do we go through a folder? We go instance, and then we say v in pairs. Then we say quest information, Q-U-E-S-T-I-N-F-O, quest info. Oh, and we say get children. Get children. Okay. Do. And we want if v dot class name is equal to string value, then v dot value equals default. And this is how we reset. This is how we're going to reset this back to default. All right, we say else if v dot class dot class name read only string represent class instance plug to could be that one. This is how we have it written in the code. So I just want to trying to keep it the same here. Equals int value, then v dot value equals 0. All right, that's the handler. Okay, so if we cancel the quest, so if we're in the middle of the quest and then we cancel it, it should reset it to 0. Now I was having issues where it will actually give you the mission reward, but then it won't save. So it's kind of good in that sense. Yeah, so that's the handler. It's pretty big. It's pretty thick. Right? We found the remote event. Oh, don't do that, mouse. And then we created a cancel quest. Created a folder which has all our quest information in it. All right, and then we created a name for the quest, Bell. Now that's important. We're going to have to remember that. Okay, now that we're done with that script, the next script we're going to need is the quest give script. So now we need to find a way to transfer the information of the quest to the player. And we are going to use a proximity prompt to do that. So we're going to insert object. And let's find it. Here it is. Proximity prompt. And we can rename that whatever you want. The name doesn't matter. Why we're using a proximity prompt is because you can determine who activated the prompt, right? So if I activate the prompt, then it gives me the quest. If somebody else activates the prompt, it gives them the quest. It's just an easy way of tracking that, and that way somebody doesn't activate it, and then everybody on the whole server gets the quest. All right, so we're going to insert object script. Okay, and then this is going to rename this to quest give. Okay. Now, what we want to do is we want to say local remote, because we are trying to find the remote event, which will say game gets, oh, not get children. We'll use get service. Get service. We'll say replicated storage. And then we say wait for child. And what did we call it? Starter. Wait for child starter. See, look at that. It automatically finds it. Okay. And then also in here, this is where we can find, like, let's say when you activate the quest, you want an object to appear. This is where we do that. And then we'll go through that here in just a minute. So we'll say local quest. All right, equals. And then now we're going to actually make this fancy module type thing. Module type bits here. All right. So the first one we're going to go is the title. Now we have to make sure that it's spelt as we did. Just going through the code here. I'm just making sure. All right. Yeah. Any of the errors in the spelling, it'll probably give us, and we can deal with that. All right. So title equals what's going to be the quest? Ring the bell, because the quest is called bell, right? Oh no, sorry. This title has to be this title here. Title.value. All right. Title.value. So this part here needs to be bell. So we can connect this to that script. Otherwise, it's going to say, hey, you know what? I can't find the variables that we're looking for. Okay, and then next, same thing, these little, and we're going to say task is equal to, and then what we want to do is we want to put it inside these little parentheses here. And what's the task going to be? Ring the bell, right? Ring the bell. Okay, and then we are going to say reward. All right, how much do we want to get for ringing the bell? 10,000? Yeah, sounds good. Let's give ourselves 10,000. 10,000 cash for ringing the bell. Now that reward is part of this. So it should give us XP, and it should give us cash in the same amount. So what I'm wondering is, probably what we're going to need to do is duplicate this. Remember I was saying I haven't actually added this part to the quest yet. So this would be quest reward. This would be, yeah, we'll figure this out in just a moment, actually. Just a moment. Yeah, we'll figure this out in a moment. All right. So And then we'll say local. And then what I did is I put a debounce on it, right? So we can say reset seconds. Let's say equals 60. And that way if you have to wait a minute before you can trigger it again. Then we say local triggered equals false. So we're just referencing this, right? Triggered equals false. And then this is the debounce. We'll say script dot parent dot triggered connect function. And we want to put player in here. All right. Oops, function. Just like that. And then we're going to say, if not triggered, then if not triggered, then triggered equals true. Then we're going to say local quest info. Make sure we are spelling it the same as we have it here. Yeah, quest information, title, objective, progress, reward. All right. Quest info is going to equal player. And then we want to find first child. And we want to find the folder which has the quest information, right? Quest information, which is this folder here, quest information. So you can name that A, B, C, D, whatever. Just make sure you name it the same here. And that way it knows which folder it's looking for. All right, so we say if quest info, then, so if it has found the folder, then what are we going to do? We're going to say if quest info, we'll say wait for child. Then we want the quest title. Make sure we got the right quest title. Quest title. These are our variables. These are our variables here. So we want to make sure. Okay, so that's quest title. Dot value, right? Oops, no, dot value. Maybe I can just say dot v for value. I'm not sure. Let's see. Dot value is equal to default. Then, because we're basically saying, okay, is it in the default mode? It should be. Then it's going to be able to give you the information. Okay? If I is approximately equal to task, but we changed it, didn't we? We changed it to task A. I'm hoping this is going to work like that, but we don't actually need that there because this is equal to this task here. Ring the bell. Okay. And we want to say then quest info, wait for child. Okay. Quest information. All right, we want the quest information dot value equals. No, I don't want vector 2. I just want the v there. All right, thank you very much. Okay, and then we're going to say else this variable here, we're kind of All right, then we need quest info. Wait for child. Quest task. All right. Dot value. Quest task dot value equals v1 value 1. And then we'll go quest info. Wait for child. Quest objective. So we're getting this. We're getting this information here. Quest objective. Dot value equals value 2. All right. And that should be the end of that. We've just got this here. It's unknown global v. So I'm just wondering where. Why these aren't being defined. Oh. Oops. That is probably why. Oops, I read that. I did that wrong. Forgot a line here. If I, before that, right here. We need to say for I v in pairs. Oops. In pairs. Right? Quest. Do. So we're basically saying go through the folder. All right, in the folder, this is the information that you're trying to call up. I might need another. Do I need another N there? Yes. See, silence that. Now right here at the bottom, we're gonna do remote. Okay, remote. Fire client. Player. Transfer quest. And what that's going to do is that's going to, and then we'll say wait, reset seconds. All right. And then we'll say triggered. Triggered equals false. Just like that. It's telling me there's an error. Top here. Oh, I might need, yes. Don't forget the comma. Don't forget the comma. All right? So that's the quest give script. Just give you a moment to look over that. It's a bit complicated, but it will all make sense. All right. Now the next script that we need to make, yeah, it's a lot of scripts, huh? I think 5 here. The next script that we need to make is the complete quest script. That's going to go in this one here. Same thing, we're going to insert object. No, not a click detector. We're going to go insert object proximity prompt. Okay, and we can rename this whatever you want. Quest finish. Okay, and then we're going to insert object, just a script, and we can rename this also quest finish. Okay. This is a quick one. This is going to be a quick one, and then we get to work on the actual UI. Okay, so we're going to say local, local prompt equals right script dot parent dot parent. What's going on here? Script up there. That's easy enough. And then same thing. We'll put a debounce on here. So we'll say local reset equals 60. So they gotta wait a minute, and then it'll reset again. Local triggered equals false. And now we're gonna say local player equals game dot players dot local player. All right, and then yes, and now we will connect the function. We can say prompt. We want to say dot triggered connect function, and it'll fire when you activate the prompt, or you can say trigger ended, so it activates when you're at the end of the prompt. And of course we want to put player in here because that's the variable that's going to activate the prompt. Okay, and then now we're basically just going to go through the folder. We'll make it blank here. We'll say player in pairs, and then we want to say game dot players get players right here. Oh, get players do oh, that was for the badge. Get rid of that. We're not going to do that one then. All right. If not triggered, then is the next one. If not triggered, then triggered equals true. All right, simple as that. Triggered equals true. Then we say if player dot quest information dot quest title dot value equals what is it, Bell? Is that the name of our quest title? Bell. Then okay, then we go player dot infor player dot quest information dot quest progress dot value equals player dot quest information dot quest progress dot value +1. Okay, now this is you could I say +1 because each prompt that they activate, so you could have like maybe they need to interact with 5 or 6 prompts, 5 or 6 tasks that they'll have to do. Then what you do in here is right +1, and when we set up the quest is quest give in here. Where are we here? Quest objective. Quest objective. I'm actually gonna have to. Let's just take a look at this. Let's see, open from Roblox. There's a way to add more prompts to the quest. Let's see here. See what I did. I've only done this about, I don't know, 100 times. It's hard to remember now. All right, so we were looking at, here we are. We were looking at, we can go to server script service, start a quests, right? And it wasn't this one here. It was, let's see here. Where are we? This right here. Plow the DOT parking lot, use the loader. And you see this number value? That is the amount of prompts that we're going to have to. So actually, that is the number of prompts that we have to activate. That number right there. So you can change that to 5. And then they'll have to activate 5 different prompts, each one giving them rewards before the overall quest is finished. And that's a great way also if you want people to, say you want them to follow a certain path. That's a great way of getting them to follow a certain path. All right, so this is quest progress.value, right? And then we had experience on here too. This is where you would add the experience in here because we're giving them the reward as well, right? The reward is this reward, but we would probably have to add another. I think I know what. Yeah, if we copy this, right, and we do that, except this one here would be, instead of quest reward, it would be experience reward, right? We'll do that after. I just want to first confirm that everything we've done so far works. Okay, so that should be, all right, then we're here, and then what we want to do is we want to wait, right? We want to wait the reset seconds, which is 60, and then we're going to say triggered equals false. And that's it. That is it. That's it for that one. 1, 2, 3, 4 lovely scripts we've made. Now we need to do one more thing, and that is this guy right here. We need to design this. So what I could do right now as a way to test if we've done it right. Wait, we'll turn this to starter. Let's see if what we've done works. Oh, attempt to call nil value. Already we got an error. I wonder if I forgot to tell it to wait. Let's see here. Where are we looking at? We are looking at Line 20 it says right here. Attempt to call nil value. It can't find this folder. It's saying, hey, where's the folder? So I just have to check to see where we messed up here. Right, player added. Player, the player added. Connect function. Player. Should be all we need. Folder. Dot name. Quest information. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. It doesn't want to create the... It doesn't want to create the folder on the player. Now, I wonder if that has to do with the fact that I didn't publish the game. Quest information is not a valid member of players. Yeah, it might be because I haven't published the game. See, we have our leader stats, we have cash and XP, but that's the only folder. It didn't actually create, no, it didn't create this folder here. Folder, the actual folder. Which it should have when we connected to the game. All right, I'm going to... let's just publish this real quickly. Untitled game, we'll just call it Whip right now. And creator me, we'll just say that for now. Team create will turn off. Genre, sure. Just as our test, right? Successfully published. Now let's see if it's gonna... No. Line 21. All right, what's going on here? Must have forgot something in here. Yeah, there it is right there. All right. So I'm going to go back into Winter Assault. I'm going to check over the script. You're going to see that here. And we're going to see why it doesn't want to add the folder. And we'll just compare it to... Same thing. Let's see here. Quest. Oh, is it? Let's see. And here I have it named Quest Information A. This is Quest Information. Oh, I see. I did Quest Info F. Maybe that was the problem here. Let's see. Might be getting confused. Quest Info F, because there's two Quest Infos. Is that right? No, still gave me the same error. Something to do with this Quest Info F. Let me just see where it's... we cancel Quest. All right, well, I guess we could change this to, we could just say quest information A, but I don't think it's gonna load the, no. For some reason, it's not creating the folder on the player, right? We have leader stats, but it should be creating a second, just like we did with the leader stats. It should be creating a folder. Even with the API issues that we're having here. I don't know why it doesn't want to create this folder on the player. Oh, could be this. Could be this. Could be that. Right there. Capital N instead of lowercase n. Hey, that was it. All right. Hey, there we go. Very wonderful. All right. Sometimes that's what we got to do. So now if I go over here and I press E. Oh, no, now it's not going to work. All right, hold on a second. We got to undo. What did I say? Because I said quest information A, right? No, quest information. Okay, that works. It should have transferred it to. It should have transferred it to here. But what I need to do is, this is the last script that we're going to make. We need to design this. Okay, but where's the... Did I delete something here? There should be a script in here. Hold on. I'm going to open from Roblox. Go back to... there's supposed to be a script in here. I think I might have deleted it by accident. Right, that goes back to spelling. Spelling is really important. Now, where I got this... While we're going through this, I'll just have a quick chat. Where I got this, it was another tutorial that I was following, and we get about to this stage, and the individual's like, I have a special object. And what the special object does is it creates a value on the, it connects the rest of the quest. So I had to spend a few days just to go over this and make it function in this way. All right, so we're gonna go here and here and here and here. Yes, copy. Look at that, it's been deleted. Paste into, I don't know why it was deleted, but it was. This is a winter assault. All right, make sure I don't close the wrong one. Okay, all right. So now in quest information, we are gonna, this is the next script that we're gonna be creating. I just want to show that what we've done so far works. Okay, so we come over here. No, it doesn't work. But it doesn't give me an error. What's going on? Oh, that. Looking for the remote event. Test it again, test it again, test it again. A lot of starting and stopping when you're making your game. Task is not a valid member of frame. All right, so cancel that. I don't know what I pressed. Line 24. Task. Oh, we renamed it, didn't we? Task A. All right, so we make sure task A. It's capital T? No, lowercase t. Why is it capital T? Oh, maybe that is it. All right, let's see. If it finds it and you can put it in there, then. All right, there it is. See, ring the bell. Hey, look, we're going to get 10,000 10,000 cash. Quest progress is not a valid member of. So now we have our quest information. Oh, look, quest objective is twice, but quest progress is not part of. And you can see there it was giving us. Finish line 11 quest information quest progress dot value. Oh, quest objective. This one here should be progress. Quest progress. Hey, see? Ring the bell. 0 of 1. Hey, look. And I got 10,000 XP and I got 10,000. There we go. And then it gave me an error. Class name is not a valid member of string value. What's that? Oh. Right? Remember I said all lowercase? That's funny. Class name, it wants it like that. All right. Now let's, oops, stop. Yes, we want to save those. Oh, did it save? Sometime. Yes, it did. Okay. Now let's try it one more time. And then we're going to go over the making of the UI. All right. There we go. Look, no errors, and it was successful. Now, because I don't have the API services turned on, it's not going to save. It might. Let's see if it prints it. It should print player data not saved. Right? Cannot write to this data store because you don't have API access. And that's fine. So as you saw, it gave me experience, and it gave me, because the reward that we have for the quest. So I'll have to figure out, in another video, I'll have to go through and figure out how to add the, or yourselves. I think we can just add it here, and an extra instance, and we can call it XP. And then when we do quest finished, we can say quest progress dot value. Nope. Right here on the reward. We'll have to figure out where that goes. Reward, and then we'll have to put XP in there too. All right. Now, the final part of our journey on how to make a quest. We need this fancy thing here. So what we're going to do in Starter UI, we're going to right click, insert object, screen UI, and then we're going to go right click, insert object. We need a frame. All right, we can drag that frame here. Yeah, you can add a insert object, like a UI corner constraint. There's all these gradients. We'll go over UIs in a moment. Okay, and then we need a second frame. So we'll insert object, a frame, and we are going to rename that to, see, I got it down there as front. We could do the same thing, and that way I just know. Okay, this one here, let's change the color of this one. Whoops, not active. Change the color to, let's make it awful green. Yeah, that's perfect. Awful green is lovely. Right? So it's in this frame here where we're going to store these values. So we need a couple of things. We need to insert an object. We need a text label. That's what those are. We need 3 of them. So we can duplicate and we can duplicate. All right, so now I'll just drag all 3 of them out so you can see. Hey, I'm going to get rid of this now, just so it's not a distraction. All right, the first text label we are going to rename, and that is going to be progress. That's this one here, and then we're going to change the text on it. Doesn't actually matter because it's going to pick up the text that we tell it to. Okay, but for now, for the purpose of this tutorial, then this next one here, we are going to change to rewarded, which is how we tracked it. That's our reward. No, we don't want the text color. Let's change this color to red. Okay, let's change this one to, I don't know, blue. They're not the greatest of colors. I know, it's a pretty hideous tutorial, right? All right, then the next one, let's make this awful dark. Okay, and that one we are going to rename to task A, right? And that's where it's going to write our task. Okay, and then we can even change the text on there to task. And this one here, we can change the text to reward. So now you can see the three different elements. We have the progress, we have our reward, and we have our task. Now what we need to do is we need to insert a local script. Insert object, local script. Now this local script is going to control what happens to the UI. So we are finally here. All right. Thank you for following along. If you followed along this far, congratulations. You may need to take a break at some point. All right. So let's start. Local. We will say remote equals, we'll say game, get service, right? We're looking for the remote event, so we say replicated storage, and then we'll say wait for child, and we'll say starter, right? Spell it with lowercase s, which we learned, and we'll say local player equals game dot players dot local player. All right, and then we need one more. Local quest info equals player wait for child quest information. All right, now we're also going to have the cancel quest function in here, so we'll say function cancel quest. Okay, let's do this here. Actually, this has to be capital cancel quest. All right, helps if I can spell. All right, we'll say script dot parent dot visible equals false. So it'll close the UI if we cancel the quest, and then we'll say script dot parent dot parent dot parent. Oh, actually that doesn't matter. The second part here was I had some other things on there. All right, and then we'll say remote fire client. No, not find first child. Fire client. Oh no, fire server. Sorry. Fire server cancel quest, which is how we have it here. Cancel quest. That is our variable. So we're firing that variable. We're saying cancel the quest. We don't want it anymore. All right. Now what we're going to do is we are going to connect. So we'll do this. We'll say connect to the quest information. That's this next part here. So we'll say remote dot on client event, and then we want connect function. Okay, and then we want in here, we want the value, and we want quest info. info value and quest info. All right, so we say if value equals transfer quest, TRANSFER quest, like that. Then, right, because that was our variable, was transfer quest somewhere. No, in quest give. Transfer quest. This was our variable. Quest give transfer quest. Then now we say for IV in pairs quest info. Okay, we say get children. Get children do, right? So it's finding all the information in the folder. Then we say if v dot name is equal to quest title, then what are we going to do? Script dot parent dot, let's say title, but we don't have title in here. What do we got here? We got task, reward. Oh, did I forget one in here? Oh yes, our title. So under frame, right click, insert object, text label. Okay, we're going to rename that to title. Okay, and then that means we have to go back to the workspace. Let's change the color of that to this light blue. And let's change the text to title. Titler, no. Title, title. And that is going to be the name of the quest. That is going to be the name of the quest. So script.parent. .parent. Oh, maybe it's just two. Oh, it is. .title. .text. And this is how you change text. .text equals v.value. v.value. All right. Else if v.name is equal to quest task, which we have to put in parentheses. All these are variables, so they all need to be in parentheses. Then script dot parent dot task. All right. Dot text. No, dot text. That text equals v dot value. Right? So we created all these in here, these variables, quest task, quest objective, and that's what we're connecting those values to. Those values come from the title, task, and reward. And now we're finally connecting all these values through to the screen UI that we created, which is just screen information, right? So we go else if v.name is equal to quest objective, then script dot parent dot progress dot text dot text equals. Now this one here, we want this to be a number value, so we're going to say 0, and just like that. Okay, and then we're going to say v value. So it's going to print this 0 of whatever the value is. 0 of 1, 0 of 2, 0 of 3. All right. Else if v dot name is equal to quest reward, and we're gonna have to add another one here for experience. Then script dot parent dot rewarded dot text equals rewarded. All right. V dot value cash. All right. That's the end. That's the end of that. Now what we need is we need to make the frame go invisible. So we're going to skip 2 of these ends, and we are going to say script dot parent dot visible equals false. Oh no, true, because this is when you first pick it up. It's going to open up our ugly. Then we'll say script. Oh, and that's if we wanted the frame, which we don't want the frame. All right, now we need quest info. Okay, we say wait for child. Wait for child. Quest progress. Dot changed. All right, connect function. So it's basically saying whenever the quest progress has changed, we are going to connect it to a function, and we're going to say script.parent, script.parent.progress.text equals quest info. Wait for child. Wait for child. Quest progress. Quest progress. Which I think is how we have that spelled. Yes. Quest progress. All right. Dot value. And then same thing. It's going to be just like that. And then we're going to go 2 more dots. I'm going to say quest info. That's a big one, eh? Wait for child. Quest objective. Quest objective. Alrighty. Dot value. Don't forget the dot value in there. Quest objective. Dot. That's a big one, huh? That's a big one. Here, that's a big one. This we don't need. Alright. Then after this end here, we're going to say else if variable equals, and then this is our cancel quest. Cancel quest. Then we're going to say cancel quest. Cancel quest. Just like that. Oh, no, I said variable. It should be value, because we have that here. It's all part of the function. Okay. Now, we also had a, if you close the window, it'll cancel the quest as well. So let's What are we going to do? Let's insert into the main part. Let's insert object. Let's insert a text button. Okay, and then we'll go to view, properties. Let's make this button red. Okay, and then we'll make the text color white. And we're going to make a big X on it. Okay, like that. And then we're going to do this. And that's going to be in there. That text button, we're going to rename. We're going to rename that to close. All right. And in here, we'll write the code for the close button. Why not? All right. So we can say script dot parent dot parent. We'll say wait for child. Close. All right. And then we'll say dot mouse button one click. Connect function. And we're going to say script dot parent dot visible equals false. And then we're going to say remote fire server. And it's going to be cancel quest. All right. So if you close the window, now what I did is I added a hide button and some other buttons on there. And we'll go over that. Okay, so now that we have created all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boy, oh boy. Okay, I'm going to change this to capital S. That way it doesn't come up. All right. Now let's test this. Oh, I want to make this invisible first. Let's make that invisible, and then let's, wherever it's going to be in this, it'll pop up right there. All right, let's test it. Let's test it. Okay, we come over here. So, we get an error right away. All right, what's the error? Line 14, it says. Quest info get children. Quest information is the folder quest info. Oh, let me make sure I went through this right. Value equals transfer quest. Then in pairs quest info. Oh, we have to do this. We have to put an F in there. I'm pretty sure. Because we're referencing quest information a couple of times. So I think that's that right. Oh, I brought it up. It brought it up. Yeah. It worked, kind of. What's the error here? Wait for child. Let's see if we can silence this error now. We got another error. Line 26. Line 26. Quest info, wait for child, quest progress. What's it saying? Tempt index nil with wait for child. Quest info, because I said quest info F, right? So everywhere in here that we wrote quest info, we have to change it to quest info F. Now let's see if that silences our errors. Whew. Yay, no errors. And look, I can ring the bell. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, and then I got all these I got all these errors when I closed it. Let's see. Line 6. Was it cancel quest? Line 27. Quest info F again with the F. Same with this, quest info F. Let's make sure we got all that. Quest info, quest info. All right, let's try it again. And we just keep trying, just keep silencing the errors and trying until, look at that. It works. Except for this. Line 6. Which is what's this? Line 6. Script.parent to parent, visible.false. It's not telling me what the error is. Source not available. Script.parent.parent.visible. Something to do with the cancel quest here. Fire server cancel quest. Interesting. I don't know why it's doing that. Might be because of, yeah, see, I didn't get a firing the server probably. It's just printing that out. What's it saying? Oh, that's there. Remote. Oh, this is coming from the other UI. All right. Which one's ours? Which one's? That one is ours. This is the other one, right? Delete that one. Hey! And it works. All right. Oh, thank you everybody for watching. If you made it this far, congratulations. And we'll figure out. I'll put an update on this about the experience and see how we can add that into our quest. All right. So let's recap. First, we created a leader stats script, which allows us to track money in the game and experience and any other data we want the players to have access to as they advance through the game. Then we created a handler for our quests where we created a folder and we gave some basic information to add to that folder. Quest title, task, some simple things. Then we created a quest and we named it. Then we created a quest give script. So when the player interacts with a prompt, they're given a quest. And then we've given a quest finish script. So when they interact with another prompt, it gives them a reward and they progress. Then we created a script that allowed us and a UI, which allows the player to see the quest information that they need to help them complete the tasks. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. And if you watched to the very end, congratulations. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.